Hello friends, Mandar here. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to talk about some interesting questions about EB category of visa, specifically who can apply and who cannot. As you may have seen on my thumbnail, I'm going to focus on EB2 NIW, which is National Interest Waiver. I'm going to go into some of the questions that I got from my subscribers, and I'm going to elaborate on this particular category. So if you're interested in who can apply for the EB category, specifically EB2 NIW National Interest Waiver, then stick around until the end of this video and let's get started. If you are here for the first time, welcome. My name is Mandar and I make immigration related videos for US and Canada. I also want to mention that I'm not an immigration lawyer, so anything that I say in this video or on this channel is for information purpose only. For your specific immigration needs, you should contact immigration attorney and work with them. So these are some of the questions that I have got and I thought they were interesting. So I'll read out the question and then I will go into some of the details. So the first question is, do I need to be on H-1B visa to be able to apply for EB2, which is employment based 2 category, specifically National Interest Waiver, so EB2 NIW category? I'll break down this question into several different parts. First, I will explain if you need to be on H-1B to be able to apply for EB category visas, and specifically EB2 NIW category visa. I'll also further go into details about EB2 NIW visa. So let's put it this way, who can apply for employment based category immigrant visa? So any EB category is employment based category. So EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, EB5. Typically EB1, EB2 and EB3, with few exceptions, needs to be applied by your employer. So employer has to file a petition with USCIS to sponsor you for the employment based category of green card. Coming back to the question, do you have to be on H-1B to be able to apply for EB category visa? And then the answer is no. The reason is, you could be on any non-immigrant visa and maintaining your status when you apply for your green card. What it means is, you could be on H-1B, you could be on L1, you could be on O, you could be on TN or any other work visa. I would go as far as to say that you could also be on F1 visa, which is a student visa, and maintaining your status. You could be on STEM OPT, you could even be on visitor visa, which is B1 visa. The reason is, so as long as your prospective employer can file a petition for you for the green card, you should be good to go. The point here is, you should be maintaining your non-immigrant status while you make an application. So as long as you have an employer who is willing to sponsor you, you can go ahead and apply for any of the EB category visa. Now specifically coming to EB2 NIW, yes, you can apply from H-1B or yes, you can apply from F1 or while being on OPT. As long as you have an employer who is willing to sponsor you for EB2 category visa, you can do that. Now let's look specifically at EB2 NIW. EB2 NIW is employment based 2 category with National Interest Waiver. EB2 NIW is self-petitioning immigrant application. This is for someone who is petitioning for immigration application based on their work which is in the national interest. The jobs that qualify for National Interest Waiver are not necessarily defined by the statute. Usually it is granted to individuals with exceptional ability and whose work can contribute to national interest. So whoever is applying for National Interest Waiver, they can self-petition and they will not have to go through the labor certification. The reason is, there is no job requirement or there is no job offer required to self-petition under EB2 NIW. So there is no labor certification. But there are certain specific criteria, 3 most notably that I am going to mention here, that you need to meet in order to qualify for National Interest Waiver. Now don't confuse this with the EB1A category. That is also for exceptional ability, but that is not for a National Interest Waiver. It is for people who are on the top of their field, like athletes or artists or Nobel literates, somewhere along those lines. So coming back to National Interest Waiver, one of the first criteria is the work has to be substantial and it has to be in the interest of the nation. And you should be in a position to start the endeavor or the job that you are proposing to be in the national interest. So you should be almost ready to do the job. Now note here, the requirement is not to be in the job, but you should be ready to do the job. And thus, because it is in the interest of the nation, the job requirement is waived, and thus there is no labor certification required. As long as they can prove that they have the ability, knowledge, education and experience to do the work that is in the interest of the nation. The second question is, can I change my job after the immigrant petition, which is I-140, is approved? The answer is yes. The reason is, once you have the immigrant petition approved, which is I-140, you have a priority date, and that priority date remains with you forever as long as your petition is approved. So in this case, once the I-140 is approved, yes, you can change the job, because then you can take that approved I-140 petition, and then when they apply for your green card, you can attach that I-140 from the previous employer to your new employer and carry over that priority date. Now there is another question, which one is harder to get approved? EB-2 NIW, which is the EB-2 National Interest Waiver, or EB-1A category? Now to answer this question, I need to point out clear differences between these two. The first difference is EB-1A, which is for exceptional ability, is for people who are best in their class or best in their business. There is a longer list of documentation that is required for EB-1A category. One of the example is, you have to prove that you have a remuneration, that is salary, that is proportional to your exceptional ability, professional memberships and achievements, and publications and other substantial documentation is needed to prove your exceptional ability for EB-1A. Whereas for national interest waiver, you have to prove that the job you are going to do is going to be in the interest of the nation. So this is a clear distinction. So to answer the question, which one is better to get the approval? Well, it depends on you. Which category do you qualify for? Are you able to provide substantial evidence? And is your work in the national interest? All of those questions will answer whether your petition will be approved in NIW or EB-1A. Lastly, I would also like to mention that the self-petitioning applications for immigration, such as EB-2 NIW or EB-1A, you should definitely hire an immigration lawyer. They should be competent, they should be experienced in dealing with such cases, because these are very complicated cases. They need a lot of documentation and being able to prove to USCIS that you indeed have exceptional ability and will be contributing to the national interest. So I highly recommend hiring a competent lawyer if you are applying in these categories. So that's all I had for today's video. I hope you got some useful information out of this video regarding EB-2 NIW. If you like this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see you in the next one.